Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted. What the fuck, man?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 28 of the Topless Robot podcast. My name is Ryan. How long does it take to say, my name is Brooks?
And I'm Dan.
And this has been a test of your emergency broadcast system.
Yeah, but who are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm Tyler.
And this has been a test of your emergent... I'm making your joke for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh,
God damn it.
Brooks!
All right, Brooks.
To answer your question, it's spite.
Oh, my
Brooks has literally just spent the past half hour not speaking.
I feel like it was longer than that.
It may have been longer than that.
And if we never started the podcast,
It
we would
was
have had
40
to be silent forever.
It was 42 minutes.
What if we just like straight up didn't start the podcast until Brooks started talking? How long would it take for you? How long would
I don't
you
work
prepare?
until Tuesday, Tyler.
Oh, anything for the bit.
Anything for the bit.
We're just sitting here in silence for the next 48 hours.
Oh, if you don't think I could do it, you know the longest time I went without speaking, Tyler? 72 hours.
God damn.
72 hours.
Well, I've done that
That's why I
as
talk all
well,
the time
but
now.
it's because I was at home alone.
Oh, I talk to myself all the time when I'm home.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, so my job, I don't really, I do not have very many people to interact with. And there are some days where I just, don't have anyone to talk to. So if I don't talk to myself, I'm going to go fucking crazy. It's not like having conversations with myself.
I was going to say, 'cause usually the talking to yourself is indicative of going crazy.
Maybe.
I'm glad we've jumped right into this. Usually we do a podcast warm-up where we try and talk for an hour or so. We didn't say a goddamn thing.
No, I didn't say a goddamn thing.
We barely even spoke because we were too busy watching stupid YouTube videos.
Yep.
So somebody going to say, it has been a week.
I mean,
I'm
you've
not saying
already said
anything.
You just did.
Tyler, you have to do it.
It has been a week.
It has been a week since we were last here. Today, as we're recording this, marks the first release of Animated Opinions on the Topless Robot Podcast Network.
Woo!
So we're very excited to welcome them aboard.
Round of applause.
And you, dear listener, if you keep up with this feed, will have gotten a surprise extra episode that is their most recent episode off schedule in this feed of their episode about monster trucks. So
I'm going to have to watch that.
Gravedigger and Bigfoot down at Suncoast Arena. Tickets at seniors and kids just $5.
Sunday. You'll buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Now I need you.
Bigfoot goes after Gravedigger.
Now I need you to be a monster truck announcer guy.
What's that,
you need to get. You found your true
What's
calling.
that T-Rex thing that just destroys cars?
It's like.
I
I was sitting there in my head, trying to remember it as
yeah,
well.
I was just
I've
what is that
actually
called?
Seen it.
So have I. I just can't remember what it's
I
called.
can't remember what it's called
Gargantusaurus
either.
or, like-
It's something like that.
Home Wrecker.
Yeah, I actually went to a monster truck rally when I was a kid.
So did I.
It was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was cool for the first half hour. And then afterwards, I was like, I want to go home now. This is dumb. It was in Hawaii, though, so I don't know.
I feel like
Robosaurus.
Robosaurus? Really? Is that
Apparently.
right? That doesn't sound
No,
right.
maybe not. No, it says it's
No, it's Truckosaurus.
truck.
Isn't
Yeah,
it?
there's a whole bunch of different.
I know
answers.
I've heard Truckosaurus before, but I don't know if that was the Simpsons mock version of that.
There's also Megasaurus and Transaurus.
Oh, so there's a whole bunch of them.
Apparently there's a few of them. So.
Huh. Anyway, I feel like I've been super out of the loop on news this past week because I have been fighting the plague.
I was too, but there's actually been some cool stuff coming.
You killed Grinder. You must take his place in the plague.
Yeah, I had the same issue this week. I was sick, and so I basically just worked and slept from Tuesday on.
I was too busy cleaning peanut butter out of my nose.
Maybe.
Gotta stop.
That's
You
gross.
gotta stop huffing nuts, man. That's what happens.
Huffin' nuts.
Huffing nuts.
You know what I like to do when I get
huffing
home?
nuts and sniffing butts.
Huffin' nuts.
Oh my god.
You know how we do. We
Extra
huff nuts
crunchy.
and we sniff butts.
Choosy moms, choose gift.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus.
But I feel like there was news. There has to have been news this week, right?
Well, like a bunch of political stuff happened.
Yeah, a bunch of political stuff.
Not terribly exciting, just because it's like we found out that someone turned the report in, but that was it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, cool.
Well, no, that's not it. We also found out that the Attorney General reviewed the report and determined that there was nothing in the report that was acted on in bad faith. That was everything in the report. The Attorney General deemed to be above board and took no issue with, suggesting that everything in the report is actionable.
Oh, okay. I mean, when I turn, I was really hoping that when he turns, the report in, that we would really have a succinct synopsis of where the red fern grows. But I think he chose to do it on Blue Lagoon
For
instead.
a moment, I was thinking that there would actually be something serious that would end, come at the end of that, and there.
What's more
was
fun?
like-
Who are you talking to right now?
Silent Brooks or Chatty Brooks?
I can
vote on your
turn-
phones now.
this way, and I can only turn so much while also directing my voice into this microphone.
That's why you have to tape the microphone to your head with gaffer's tape.
But yeah, so that's news. But
And that's the news from Lake Wobegon, where all the women are strong, the women are good looking, and all the children are above average.
Go back to being quiet.
no,
I'm joking. Don't do it.
Yeah, he would. He absolutely would.
Yeah.
I'm a madman.
Oh man.
The fastest media reboot of all time happened this week, or at least some news with it, with the Dark Tower series. Got
Oh
their,
yeah, that's right.
I mean,
they're casting.
They've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, I know
now,
they've been
Tyler.
talking about it, but it's been a year.
I would
I
also-
love that they just.
No, I mean, when it came out, there was talk of Amazon doing a series.
Oh,
I would also argue that it is not the fastest media reboot. The fastest media reboot is Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, for real.
100%.
Yeah, because the Dark Tower TV series is going to be, it looks like it's going to be in chronological order, so it's probably going to go book 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7.
Interesting.
Because book 4 is a lot of flashback to the main character's earliest memory.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is
I'm super
exciting.
stoked.
I am excited about. So the guy that got to play the Man in Black is
Johnny Cash.
That'd be impressive.
the Man in Black, the walking dude.
Little did we know the producers of
Evil Incarnate.
this new show are also necromancers.
No, it's just terribly rendered like shiny Peter
Yeah.
Cushing at the end of Rogue One. I am dead for 22 years.
They actually just exhumed his corpse and used him as a puppet.
You know, I feel like if we're still talking about Peter Cushing, he'd probably be down for that because horror movies are great. But I don't know about Johnny Cash's estate.
Everyone's just getting on the hologram, train.
We should just make holograms of ourselves for when we're sick.
Why isn't Tupac starring in Dark Tower?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because
there we
he's
go.
busy on the crossover of the new Friends reboot.
Yeah, so I never read the Dark Tower series. I know that people speak very highly of it.
Very good.
I remember when it was coming out, and I was always curious about it because I love Stephen King, but just never.
I,
ended up getting
Well, now
into
you
it.
don't have to read it. You can just watch the
You know,
I started listening to the audiobook years ago too.
I knew that would get a reaction.
want me to be quiet again, Tyler? Want me to scare you?
You know what? I won't read it. I'll just watch the movie.
You want me to be quiet, Tyler? Do you see what you did? No,
please don't.
I
Don't suffer
I
through
found
that
I found
garbage.
the first book, The Gunslinger, like in the
I
thrift
just reread
store.
that.
Like this was before I got into Stephen King. I was just like, oh, this is a really cool cover, and the first line was all it took for me to be like, oh damn, okay, I got to know more, because the first line of the book is the man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. And, yeah, and that's
You're like, you know what? I want to
Yeah.
understand how did we get here?
yeah, exactly. And the book does a really good job of basically the books over the years. It's really interesting to watch the progression of Stephen King as an author, because he wrote the first one when he was like still young, when he was like in the 70s. Yeah.
No.
So each book has come out progressively further into his career. Like he did
I didn't realize that. I thought that
4, 5, and 6, and 4.5.
1982.
So
Yeah.
he got into
shit.
he got into an accident and then decided he was going to finish these like right away.
really, because I remember when they were showing up on because they were like fairly shorter. They were shorter books.
The first one is
First one
short.
is.
And
after that,
The
they
second
get
one
pretty
is like they get progressively thicker, like with 3 C's. Song of Susanna, the sixth one, which is kind of that one's a little short, but Wizard and Glass is a phone book. Wolves of the Kala is fantastic. It's the best one. And then the Dark Tower itself, the final book, is a phone book.
Because I remember those coming out and equating them to like the novels that you'd find, you know, kind of tucked away with like the old woman romance novels.
Yeah, like the Zane Grey Western romance
yeah.
novels. Yeah,
at
Clive
the,
Cussler.
At the grocery store, you know, they just have this display and it'd be like, oh,
They don't
well,
even
there's
have
Stephen
those
King.
anymore in grocery stores, and that
No.
makes me mad.
No.
Because it's like where's all the trashy novels for people
All
to
the
get
trashy
into?
novels have gone mainstream.
Yeah.
There's fucking Twilight and goddamn 50 Shades of Grey.
Twilight was the beginning of the end.
You know what the better version of
Of the
50
world
Shades of
as
Grey
we know
is?
50 Shades of Twilight.
Secretary.
Yeah.
It's
I
shorter.
would say that they are
It's shorter.
nowhere even remotely related.
One of them is sexy, and the other one is 50 Shades of Grey.
One of them is an example of an actual BDSM relationship. The other is a Mormon woman's fever dream of a BDSM relationship.
Transposed over Twilight,
Yes.
which is hilarious. And I couldn't stop laughing the first time somebody told me that, and I was like, oh shit, really?
It's really.
Really? Oh, man.
It's all smut to me.
Silence, Puritan!
And I didn't think anything of it. Like, I knew kind of roughly what the subject matter was of 50 Shades of Grey. And I knew that, like, moms everywhere were reading it. And so I was
Moms
like,
love
it can't be that bad. And,
Oh, you know how bad?
So, and I've visited my aunt and uncle, and my aunt had it, like, sitting next to the toilet. And I'm like... Oh, great. My aunt's reading this dumb bullshit. And, like, that's the only thought that went through my head was my aunt's reading some dumb bullshit, not this is porn. This is literal
It's
porn.
not even good porn.
And then I never actually looked into it until I decided to read myself, record myself reading it in the voice of Dr. Girlfriend from Venture Brothers. And
Mr. Gray.
it's so I specifically looked up raunchier, like a raunchier passage.
Thank goodness. I'm so excited for this right now.
And so here's your content
Who's that
warning, listeners.
Who's that man without the facial hair? It's
Yeah.
Ryan.
I used to not have facial hair.
That's so weird.
So Raven.
So
I never actually watched the show, but I wanted to suss out who did in this room, and that was you.
Are you even remotely surprised it was Tyler who sang
on,
back that
come
so
on.
all right. So here is Dr.
I bet you also
Girlfriend.
watched Sister.
No, I did not.
Here's Dr. Girlfriend
dare you put-
reading an actual portion These are the actual words in the book.
All I see is Christian's unruly mop as his head dips lower between my legs. His usual MO is to circle my clitoris with his slick, crackerjack tongue. But tonight, he's doing something different, and it's exquisite.
He's busted out the
He presses his
incantation.
tongue flat against me as he laps at me with long strokes. He starts at the bottom
I
and
am his
sweeps
favored
it upward
soul.
in lazy, even lengths. Every time he comes up, I catch his eyes, blazing fire with pleasure and thick desire. Fuck.
And he penetrates me with my
As always, the
phylactery.
pressure is just right. And as he stops and reconnects with me again, there, yes, right there, I get a 1,000-volt jolt
Fact.
straight to my core. I moan, almost scream, as he flicks over my whole slit again. I so much want to grab his head and force his tongue to stay on me and to stop this maddening teasing, but both my wrists and ankles are tied to the bedposts. I buck my pelvis into his face, but his leisurely pace doesn't change. The heel of his right hand is firmly pressed down onto my pubic bone, creating a delicious pressure. His left thumb is rubbing slow circles on my inner thigh, my whole being willing him to move it up just an inch and slip it inside. All I
So
see is
that-
Christian-
All
Don't do
of
it again,
you-
Ryan. Don't do it
I'm
again.
sure some of you listening out there have seen this book in your mom's bathroom or your aunt's bathroom like me. That is what they were reading.
Hey, you know
Those are the words.
this
So
book
if
is in
you,
public libraries across the world.
If you sit down in your mother's favorite armchair and find a little bit of dampness there,
Just
with the book next to it, just
bu-
know
Just go buy your mom a
what
hustler,
happened.
okay? Just buy your mom a hustler. You're doing her
Yeah.
a favor.
Yeah.
Just walk into the room with a hustler. Just, Mom, read this instead.
Mom, you have a problem? Here,
Throw it at her face.
here's a copy of Playgirl.
Dear Penthouse.
Dear Pet House. Oh my God.
You know,
Fucking.
I don't. I feel like I've changed irreversibly since hearing
Yeah.
you.
And then I had Henchman 24 follow it up.
What, I'm supposed to just pick up where she left off? Okay.
I can't go back to the man I
I
used to
don't feel
be.
comfortable with this. I glimpse his rippling shoulder muscles glistening with his perspiration in the dim light. He's so freaking hot. Oh, I'm so close.
You should do another one where you read it
He
like Solid
senses my
Snake.
quickening and 2 fingers glide. 2 fingers
Mario.
glide roughly through
No.
my wetness and straight to my sweet
No, you have to do it
spot.
like Wario.
The other arm snakes up my body where he pinches my nipple and twists violently. I shudder and groan in ecstasy, thrashing my head about as I detonate my release.
Detonate
Yes, detonate my release.
And 2 fingers glide roughly through my wetness and straight to my sweet spot.
Oh my God! It's like if someone was describing sex, but didn't really, wasn't really
Yeah.
clear
It's
about
like-
how the whole thing worked. They
And
kind of know, but not
Amazingly,
really.
this became a blockbuster.
How?
Because housewives need stimulation.
We
There have
live in
been
the
a-
most cursed timeline.
There have been a million options before this.
Yeah, but the book had a nice cover. It was written by a nice Mormon lady.
Yeah, it didn't have the stereotypical like Ripley man.
Fabio.
Didn't have Fabio
It
on
didn't have
it.
Yes,
it
exactly.
didn't have Dan on the front breaking through his shirt with his rippling
Oh
bicep.
my God! Can we make a line of like old school trash romance novels with us as the cover?
As long as you're every girl on the cover, Tyler.
Yep.
Oh please, can we
my
do
mom
this?
my mom used to read I think she still does these romance novels, these like this specific author that had a thing for like Dutch dudes and like doctors. So there's a bunch of like weird like doctor I can't even think of like a Dutch name right now, but just like all these like books with these covers on them. I just see them when I was a kid. I was like, this looks like a mom thing. Yeah.
It's so
The internet was created
It
so
does
nobody
explain-
had to masturbate to literature anymore.
You know,
Well,
but
join the future.
In the dark days.
Just go to Pornhub like a normal person. Jeez.
In the dark days when I did not have access to the internet, nor did I have access to smutty magazines or materials like that, I found my way. Okay, and it's actually a very funny story.
Thus was when Brooks's mind palace was created.
Yes, House of Sin. No, it was. So I found this book called The Sensuous Woman, and it was like this 70s like book about like women's sexuality and stuff like that, and like it was written in a way that was not just like this is academic. It's like it was written as like celebrating the body of a woman kind of thing. I was just like, yeah, this is great. I found out that book was ghostwritten by someone who's not a woman.
Okay.
Who is a very famous author that I have enjoyed since, that I did not know until like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it's forever just kind of like broken my brain about Isaac Asimov. Yeah.
Isaac Asimov.
Yes, Isaac Asimov wrote like a smutty sex book, and
what?
Yeah, and I didn't know that until like years later. I was like, well, number one, this explains why I really, really like the way Asimov writes.
It explains the weird tingling I get whenever I read.
Ooh, robots.
Whenever he describes a robot, I get a boner.
Oh, boner. And speaking
that
of
explains
books,
my weird fascination with iRobots.
Because Anne Rice started as a smut writer as well.
Yeah. Which, I mean, explains why she can, weave smut in and out.
Yeah.
There's a staggering number of artists who have to start out making porn because people will pay for it.
Like
Dr. Seuss did that too. Like he made like
Theodore Geisel.
There's a whole bunch of like dirty Dr. Seuss
Interesting.
shit out there. Yeah.
I think Shel Silverstein did as well.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
He used to do kind of perverted songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, everything about our childhood, and especially in the case of Dr. Seuss and Shel Silverstein, it's almost a little bit more disturbing because they go from writing dirty stuff to kids.
Yeah. People find their way, man. I mean, I have a friend who had to who got by partially through college.
I thought it said the 7 lady grandmas for a second. What?
The 7 lady Godivas.
Lady Godiva was
if you want to masturbate to Dr. Seuss, you can.
It's an option.
Water on the knee.
Of
masturbation.
Course, to be fair, you can, if you want to masturbate to literally anything, you can.
Just don't do it in public.
But
you were saying,
could you in a box? No. Would you you with a fox?
God damn it! I'm sorry, Dan. I derailed that hard.
I have a friend who's a professional design artist. He's gotten jobs with a couple like really great companies, but getting through college required creating a fake fursona to infiltrate the furry community because furries will pay you hand over fist for porn.
Wow.
And literally, like, he made a shitload of money with a fake identity just drawing porn for furries.
Is it hand over fist or is it paw over tail?
Shut up.
I hate you so much.
All this build-up, the 42 minutes of silence.
Oh, hold on. I want to extrapolate that a little bit. Hand over fist is to paw over tail?
I mean, I was...
You called him out!
Paw over paw just doesn't sound... Because, Sonic...
Paw over clenched paw?
Clenched paw?
That doesn't quite roll off the tongue,
no,
Ryan.
Not quite.
No.
I'll accept paw over tail.
Paw over pinion. There we go.
Pinion.
Birds.
Okay, sure.
Burbs.
Paw over claw.
Paw over... Hey, there it is.
Boom!
All right,
Boom!
That's okay. I mean, you had to build on my series of jokes to get there. But,
all that matters is the destination, not the journey.
Oh.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
You have a whole team of Brooks inside your mind palace building on each other's jokes. It's not fair to the rest of us.
An infinite number of Brookses on an infinite number of typewriters.
In the Brooksyverse.
The multi-Brooks. I am Brooks number 347.
Oh, man.
They're not even in the top 10.
Yeah, that's a little.
They count down.
Did we get?
So 347 was the first. There was a finite number to reach.
No,
There has to be more than 347.
no, because there's 347A, 347B.
Ah.
There's like license plates that just keep getting longer. So does this conversation.
Oh, man.
So,
when this episode comes out, we will be a week away from being in our new studio.
Yes.
Which I am very excited for. I think that Sunday, instead of doing an episode, I'm just going to do a release of a bunch of unreleased pre-show, like best of pre-show collection as an episode. So look forward to that. That'll be
the
fun.
best of the stuff.
The best of the stuff that we don't put out because
we have a headache.
Oh my God. I'm ashamed of all of you right now.
That was a good one.
Giving him the credit.
I liked that one. That was. That tells us where our mind is after the porn conversation.
That's exactly. Yeah, I had to get one more in there. One for the road.
So, what games have you gentlemen been playing?
I have been on a platforming / beat 'em up kick this week, and I burned through Streets of Rage and Streets of Rage 2 on the 3DS.
Oh, cool.
And then unlocked.
Did they do the 3D for both of them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
And there's an unlockable mode for the second one. It comes standard on the first because there just aren't that many options for gameplay. But there is a second, in the second one, you have to unlock the Fists of Death mode, which is you distribute one-hit kills to everything. And it's just the most satisfying,
I imagine
gratifying thing. It's just because there are bosses that are easier than others, and ones that are just really annoying. But because it's an 8-stage beat 'em up, you got to have the really awkward, ones that you can't hit because they're flying in the air or they're spinning through the air kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, boop, oh, you're dead. It's great, and they also have a mode which is really cool. It's I forget what it's called exactly, but it's if you die, the next character in line you play as opposed to coming back as the same one you picked.
Dude, that's
cool.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That reminds me. I started playing The Mummy Demastered again because you remember I brought it up many weeks ago. I had kind of picked it up and played a little bit of it, and it was amazing because it's based on the Mummy movie. And
with Brandon Fraser?
No, not that Mummy. With Tom Cruise.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so the movie may be garbage, but the game is an outstanding Metroidvania done by Way Forward. And
Way Forward, hell yeah.
And so I started playing it again. I hadn't ever died before until I started playing in this session. When you die, you come back as the soldier who was sent to find out what happened to your last character.
That's cool.
And in order
I like
to get
that.
your things back, you have to kill zombie you. The last you who has turned
I like
into
that.
a
That's a
very fun
pretty
idea.
cool way to.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
When you die for the first time, the thing tells you it's all right, you've been sent to the last place we received the last person's transmission, which happens to be the last save spot, and it's just really well done. Really, really well done.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I love that when games tamper with, instead of just, oh, well, I died, starting over. It's no, here's something fun. Here's a little something for you.
Kind of like what the messenger does.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like what the messenger does. You didn't die. You just felt horrible pain, and then you got to reset.
You didn't die. I kept you from dying. So
And I'm gonna
pay
remind
up.
you every time. Oh man, that's I also played Gunman Clive this week, which was an excellent. It was the best not Mega Man game I've played. It's super. I like the muted color palette. The enemies are fun. The final boss was I was oh, okay, this is how Mega Man we're getting. It was a very Mega Man final boss.
Right on.
And they did have a little bone to Bionic Commando fans with one of the bosses.
Oh, cool.
The artwork in this looks
Yeah, it's cool. And I beat it, and I unlocked Duck Mode, which is now my new white whale. I must beat duck mode, because duck mode is you play as a duck with no guns. You just jump and fly, and it's like not really flying. It's just kind of like a couple extra jumps,
And
It's
you just
really
have
stupid.
to run through it.
You have to run.
All
through it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not die.
and not die.
All right.
I wonder how that is going to work out when you get to boss fights.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet because I beat the game like a half hour before I left work yesterday, and then I was also watching For a Few Dollars More at the same time.
Appropriate.
And I just was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up again on Tuesday. I do most of my 3DS playing when I'm at work. It's just more fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I could just play games at work.
Well, I wish I was paid a better wage, Tyler.
That's it's a fair trade-off. You get games, I get money.
Yeah, it's more fun. And I also picked up 3D Gunstar Heroes as well.
Oh,
just
cool.
because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am a sucker for Gunstar.
Gunstar Heroes is a classic.
Yeah, I've spent so much time playing Gunstar Heroes
Gunstar
by myself
Heroes.
and with my buddy Brent. Not even close. Not even close.
Shut down.
It's like a fun Sega Metal Gear or Metal Slug.
Yeah.
Metal Slug without any tank.
It's a lot faster than Metal Slug.
Yeah, and it's cool because you have like a choice of 4 different weapon power-ups, and you have 2 slots, and so you can combine them, and they do cool stuff. So you have like a machine gun, a tracer shot, flame, and like an electric like ray kind of thing. And so combining all the combinations for that are really cool. It just depends on what you're fighting.
I'm adding this to my list as well.
Yeah, it's on like every platform.
Yeah. It originally came out on Genesis, right?
Yes. It originally came on the Genesis. It's by Treasure, which I wish they would make more games, because Treasure and like Team Wolf and stuff like that, all those really good little gems, like Grenada or Granada. I never knew how to pronounce it because I've never heard it said. There's this dope tank game on the Genesis made by Team Wolf that had the best soundtrack, and it was super hard, but not in a bad way, in a compelling, I have to beat this kind of way. So
Right on.
those are the games I played this week. How about you, Dan?
I'm going to guess.
Neo.
Is it by From Software?
Did Shadows Die Twice?
I don't own Sekiro yet.
Really? Oh
I was
my
literally.
God.
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised.
No, I'm not
I
surprised.
have thought about buying.
I have
I am,
too.
uh,
I really want it.
I am trapped in Warframe still. Although I am very excited for a lot of the games that have recently come out. I still have to buy Devil May Cry 5.
I do
sure.
too.
I have-
It
so do
looks
I.
so good.
I have played some Devil May Cry
Run
5.
DMC 5.
And I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
Damien has brought it to work, and I've been playing it after I get off, like pretty much every night we work together.
Does it feel like the old Devil May Cry games?
It's what we really wanted Devil May Cry 4 to be followed up with instead of DMC.
I enjoyed
I
DMC.
loved DMC.
I really enjoyed DMC.
I love both.
DMC was a fun game, and the gameplay wasn't bad. The writing was terrible, and it spat in the face of everybody who liked Devil May Cry.
How so?
How?
Because Devil May Cry has always been kind of
They openly
like he's snarky over the top. You know?
No, that's not the same character as Dante.
No?
They literally rewrote him saying Dante was too much like a gay cowboy. So instead they turned him into a black-haired little edgelord. He's not. It's not the character. It
I
really
prefer
isn't.
Cowboy Dante myself.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some of the cutscenes in fighting in the new Devil May Cry, and he seems just as snark
and snarky.
and quippy and like
He was always quippy. He was not that edgy. He was not. He was a joke. Like Dante is absolutely meant to be a joke,
yeah.
but it's not the same writing. It really isn't. I don't know. I never felt the connection between DMC Dante
Because I
and
really
Devil May Cry
loved
Dante.
the intro of DMC.
Me
it's
too.
so perfectly over the top and
that game,
absolutely
that game
ridiculous.
was over the top, absolutely. And like I'm saying, it wasn't a bad game either. It was fun.
Yeah.
The
Controls were tight, and like I'd expect from it.
It
Like,
just should have not been a Devil May Cry game. They should have just made a new character and made that game.
How many
Instead of saying, I don't like Dante being a gay cowboy, so I'm gonna make him a 10-year-old edgelord's dream.
Sure.
I hated it.
What how many games are there? There's what?
6 now total,
think
if you
6.
include DMC.
Yeah.
Which is Dante in the newest one?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like, is it the
DMC never happened.
which one is the best?
Because DMC was made by a
Like,
different
I say,
studio.
which one
man.
do you consider to be the
This
best
one might be the best. If it's not, then for me, it's Devil May Cry 4. Absolutely.
So
Devil May Cry 4 was
I don't think I ever
baller.
played 4.
I love DMC.
It's Dante's peak performance.
Oh, God damn it. You were
went
fishing
way-
so hard for that joke. You, like, cast that line out far.
I did.
You
God
you
damn.
built the foundation.
Yeah.
You sat there kind of shining it a
You
little
had
bit,
to
getting it ready.
reel. You had to reel for a while before, in order to
I
get
did.
that bite.
I did, but it was good. And Brooke said it was good.
Your definition of good is suspect.
Yeah, DMC5 is on my list for sure. I want to pick it up, and specifically, I want to get the deluxe edition because there's a Mega Man Buster as DLC.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But which Mega Man Buster is it? Judging goggles on.
It's
Is-
normal
is-
Mega Man Buster.
is it-
It's like the Mega Man Buster that's in Dead Rising,
Okay. I mean,
because Nero's got a gun arm.
No, it's not a gun arm.
It's a robot arm that.
Yeah. There are so many different attachments, and they're a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch, and they have a lot of different applications.
So it's not all exclusively ranged. It's also melee. Or,
Right, yeah,
so
absolutely.
he's more like Barrett than when it comes to gun-armed protagonists.
I guess. I mean, Barrett only had the chain gun thing that.
We had the chain gun, but I thought he also had like, didn't he have like a melee weapon as well?
I don't think so.
Oh, never mind.
I don't remember
Never
him
mind.
having one. I remember the models for the guns being different, never actually reflecting.
Oh yeah,
on Barrett.
that's right. It was the first one was a chain gun, and then he got a couple like rifle looking ones.
Yeah.
There was one that was like looked like a crab claw, but it was still a gun.
But they never actually updated the character model. Like
Yeah.
it never showed on the character model that I can remember.
the character that they have in this game that makes the different robot arms for Nero is great.
And I saw in the trailer, she's the one who made Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah.
Do they go together in perfect?
You shut your. That was.
You know, I didn't take that one. I want y'all to know that I did not take that.
Tyler's jokes are Brooks's leavings.
That's right. Have fun picking up my trash, Tyler.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
They fully embraced everything hammy. All of the different characters that you play as are all different types of edgelords, which make me laugh.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why the franchise is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like.
there's
Well, I
no-
mean, it's the same kind of shit that I love about Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
The
I was getting to
stuff
talk about
that's
that. Yeah.
just like over the top,
Yeah.
really ridiculous.
Look,
The,
this mini game is us shooting angels.
Yeah, right. No, look, this finishing move is you have to use all of your hair, which includes the hair that you're using as clothing right now, in order to turn it into a
Naked.
giant dog head to eat an angel.
But it's it's really really good for her roots. So-
Also, you have guns in your shoes and guns in
Yeah.
your...
the new character they made, V, who plays differently from anything else in Devil May Cry. It's badass. But his like devil trigger equivalent ability is he summons this beast called Nightmare, and Nightmare has context sensitive entrances into whatever arena you're fighting in.
Nice.
Like
That's
if you're,
cool.
there's one time where you're fighting in a factory, and one of the walls is just like a big fence that has planks over it, and you summon him, and he just bursts through the fucking wall and starts shooting lasers out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you might have just sold this game for me.
I summoned him in the middle of a street fight, and he jumps over a nearby building and just slams into the battlefield.
That's awesome.
It's so cool.
I need to play
I'm,
this game.
I'm still waiting for a Beautiful Joe Devil May Cry crossover.
That would be actually pretty rad. You know what? Beautiful Joe should have turned into a thing where they just take Capcom other
Yeah.
properties that become extra characters.
Like Beautiful
in
Joe
Beautiful
X
Joe.
Street Fighter, Beautiful Joe X Devil May Cry, Beautiful
Yeah.
Joe X Mega Man. That'd be tight.
Yeah, it's the perfect game for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a movie.
Yeah.
I miss
V-Trigger.
I miss Beautiful Joe. I actually kind of really want to
Yeah,
go
it's
back
been
and
a
play
long
that. It's
time.
been forever. That was such a good game.
I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to the franchise.
the
Red Hot Rumble was their attempt at an arena fighting game of some
Yeah, I
sort, and
remember
that.
that.
Was lame.
Didn't they have a spiritual successor to?
They ported the first one
yeah.
to the DS.
I forget what it was called.
But no, there was a different one where it was like
Henshin a go-go, baby.
it was like legions of people or some kind of thing. I can't remember. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was done in the same sort of cel-shaded art style, and it was just like a sea of people.
Yeah.
That you would fight with.
It was not
But I
beautiful.
can't remember what the fuck it was.
Yeah, that game was so much fun.
Yep.
It was like the last fun side-scrolling beat 'em up that I remember getting excited about as a kid.
Yeah. So I do imagine that Sekiro is on your list, though.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
on
The
my
next game I'm buying is either Devil May Cry 5 or Sekiro. I think it's going to be Devil May Cry, though, because the 1st of April, they're coming out with free DLC that brings out like the challenge arena, essentially.
Oh, cool. Yep.
That's going to be
Which
We
is
all
your
know
bread
that
and
Dan
fucking
loves
butter.
a challenge.
Absolutely. So I'm going to get into that. Well, that's still hot because Sekiro's single player exclusively. There's no multiplayer, so I can play that whenever. That's
Yeah.
fine. But I'm not going to wait on it. Don't worry.
Sakura! Karida! Help me!
How about you, Tyler?
So I finally finished it, but I finished Injustice 2.
Right on.
Been playing the hell out of that all week because it's been so much fun. But then I also started playing Rhyme because it was one of those PSN, PS Plus free games, and it's good.
It's really charming.
That's
It's
very
charming.
convincing.
The gameplay itself it's there. But it's definitely one of those games where I just kind of sat there and like let the music play and just watched it for
very
a while.
pretty,
Because
yeah.
it is gorgeous. Like,
really, really pretty.
honestly, the platforming part is just okay, and like actual gameplay is less fun than just being in the world that they created.
Yeah.
Because it's gorgeous, and the music, the music that they have is just freaking catchy and pretty and
remember-
relaxing and interesting.
When that came out, they were comparing it to like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And it really kind of missed that mark.
It really
It's still
did.
pleasant, but it's definitely not a Legend of Zelda kind of thing.
It doesn't even feel like Zelda like at all.
Yeah.
Really, it's just its own thing, but it didn't really. It feels like it's trying certain things that it didn't really hook me. Honestly,
One
I'm
thing
probably not going to finish it.
I really like about it is that they definitely don't hold your hand. Like
Yeah,
there's no
they just drop you
direction.
in.
You wake up on a shore and okay,
Go do
go
stuff.
Good.
explore.
The
Handholding
directions
is
actually.
condescending, and I hate it.
Yeah.
It's,
I like that some people are trying to make a Zelda game without being Zelda, but I am more excited about the not Zelda game that now has Zelda in
Yes!
it.
Oh, I
Fucking
just
Crypt of the Necrodancer finally gets a sequel, and it's only going to be better. I hope. Fingers
It's
crossed.
in Hyrule.
I'm
Cadence
so
of Hyrule looks
fucking excited.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, and it's like I was making a joke earlier too. I believe I sent it to you guys, but I was telling someone else. I was like, like when I bought the game, I was like, yeah, this kind of looks like Lady Link. Cadence looks like Lady Link.
Yeah.
And, well, they heard my joke and fuck you, Brooks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no,
But-
I am extremely excited for that.
I am excited for the game, but I'm like almost more excited for the music because
We're gonna
Crypt
get
the
some-
Necrodancer has a banging soundtrack.
And all of Cadence of Hyrule is going to be remixes of Legend of Zelda songs.
Oh, I'm so
That was
excited.
good. That was good.
Yeah,
I'm very excited for that. And Cuphead coming to the Switch is going to be really rad. It's,
so many games. Like it's crazy how much is coming.
the
to
Switch has really
Just-
become,
it's-
Indie Haven.
yeah.
But Nintendo finally got wise to, hey, people like these games, so we're going to have them.
Well, I've said it before on the podcast. The Switch has become Steam for me. I have 147 games on Switch right now. And I haven't beaten most of them. I've beaten, the larger ones. Like I beat Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. But for the most part, I also just have a collection of, fun indie titles that I can just jump from one to the next. Or like I just picked up Inside and Limbo on Switch. I've played them both on PC, but they're such beautiful, incredible experiences that it's nice to be able to hop into it somewhere and just play through it.
they're perfect to pick up and then put down,
Yeah.
like the Switch was intended to.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what else they're going to get in the future, and I don't know. I was also gonna make some dumb Mario Odyssey joke about how the next one's gonna be called the Iliad, but
Oh please, Please.
You were going to.
You know-
I'm glad you decided not to make that joke you just told.
Yeah, is Mario gonna like come back from a war and have to, fight off suitors of Princess
String
Peach?
his bow.
sorry, that's
and-
the Odyssey.
Shoot through a bunch of axe heads and some shit like that.
That's sorry. That is actually the Odyssey. The Iliad would be the fight at the Trojan Wall, sir.
I'm allowing you to sound
Oh,
intelligent.
man.
Sir,
Sorry,
Damn.
sir.
I haven't read it in a while. I've moved on to better, newer things.
Newer things.
Most things are newer.
Like
than-
everything.
Literally everything's newer than the Odyssey.
I could go on a tangent about the oldest book, the oldest book in the world.
The Bible?
No. No, that's not
The
the
world's
oldest
only
book.
2019 years old.
Exactly.
World-
What are you trying to
come
tell me,
on.
Brooks? What are you trying to say, Brooks?
Brooks
World's
reads the
oldest
inscriptions
TM.
on Hammurabi's tomb, okay?
Fucking, I wrote the first dick butt on the Rosetta Stone, and the world's never been the same. So, dick butt.
Brooks actually.
I brought this up before, but I just don't get how you guys can pick up a game and put it down like that, just play a game for that short time and not finish it.
Because our bathroom breaks are only so long.
I have
Ryan only
a
plays
criminally
games when he's
low
pooping.
attention span. And I'll enjoy my time in a thing for a little bit and be like, okay, I'm going to go do something else. Or, hey, I have to edit this week's podcast. Or,
Sure.
hey, I should probably record some voiceover or, whatever.
But I get the idea that you put a game down, go do something else, and then pick up a different game.
Yeah.
Oh, well, for me, it's
Instead,
like...
the first thing I would do is if I had to go do something else, I'd put that game down, do that other thing, come
And then
back
come
and
back to the
continue
same
playing
game.
the
Yeah.
same game. I don't know.
Well, it's
I
like-
have to finish it, or I feel like I'm just wasting mental energy in the background all the time thinking about finishing the goddamn game.
So
You are single-minded, sir.
games are more than just the beginning to end experience.
also
I
the
don't
middle.
need to experience the end of a game to enjoy that experience. I like gameplay mechanics. I like the things that make that game. So I can spend time in that and enjoy that time without feeling like I have to beat it in order to sufficiently enjoy it.
Ryan, it's about the journey, not the destination.
I 100% cannot do that, but I
it's
understand
like-
what you're saying.
It's like Dead Cells. I don't care if I die in the first level. That is enjoyable as hell to run around, and like those controls feel great.
They do.
And so jumping into that game and having that feeling, it makes me happy.
Ugh, God. Ouch.
For me,
I can see the pain on your face. Just imagining the kind of lifestyle that Ryan lives. You're just
There's no wrong way to enjoy
Reese's
a
peanut
video
butter
game, so I get it. But also, if you walk around the first level and someone pushes you over and takes your lunch money, like, you should want to do better.
I want to do better. It's the whole reason we started Get Good.
I just don't. I wouldn't enjoy that. Like, if I get hit in the first level, I'm just like, fuck this, we're restarting.
I'm the same way.
We're getting it right.
I'm the same way.
we'll do it live.
The whole point is I do keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
I just don't exclusively come back to it. And if it takes me years to end up beating a game, like with Celeste, I bought that day one and played a bunch of it, enjoyed the hell out of it, set it aside, didn't play it for probably 6 months, and then came back and beat the game.
for me, it's a rhythm thing. Like, so I get a game, and I've been playing for a bit, and I get a feel for the game, how the game's going, and then I get kind of tired, and so I put it down, and I won't pick it up until I'm feeling the rhythm again. It's kind of like with books. Like, I'm always in the middle of like 5 books, but to me, reading a book is like watching TV.
Oh, so you guys don't have the brick wall mentality?
No.
Okay.
No.
I do. I smash my face into the wall.
He's a
over
brick.
and over and over.
Wow.
It's I hear people talk about, I get mad at a game and then I have to step away. No. You channel your anger.
So
You channel that.
I only do that in VR.
that's the thing is, and it's the same kind of thing with when I'm programming. If I hit a very challenging problem, I know that I'm going to be more effective at it if I step away. Because just sitting there and bashing my head into a problem is not going to, it's going to frustrate me. It's not going to get it done any faster if I just kind of step away for a little bit and let it stew. And it's always in the back of my mind. It's always a problem that I'm working through, but I don't feel this urgency and this frustration. It's good for my mental health to step away, let it be a thing that, yeah, I need to take care of this, but then revisit it. It's like, it's actually been proven in like when you're learning how to play guitar. If you're working on a hard line or something like that, you're going to see less gains by forcing yourself to keep doing it than you will if you sleep on it and then come back to it. You gain significantly greater practice and progress if you sleep on problems.
It's all about those gains, son. Clearly.
But it's how your brain creates those connections that you need in order to deal with a problem.
Born under a punished star, Dan beats his head.
But
No, I beat my problems into submission. Always.
Well, you are a master of taekwondo.
That's true. Taekwondo. I don't think I've heard the stress on that syllable.
Is that anything like a Ticonderoga pen or a pencil?
Ticonderoga pencil.
You know, he's a master of taekwondo, and he's really bad.
Thanks.
I recently learned, and this is probably something that is like old news, but apparently I totally fucking missed it. So I'm a PlayStation Now subscriber. And you guys know PlayStation Now is a service that allows you to stream backlog of... God, Brooks.
Brooks only has ColecoVision.
It allows
television nerd.
It allows you to stream games from previous Sony platforms and stuff like that. And it can be a little hit or miss. I was pissed off when they discontinued the service support for Vita. So there was a time when you could load up PlayStation Now on the Vita and play all these old PlayStation 2 games and PlayStation 3 games. So apparently they recently, at least I think it was recently, made the change so PlayStation Now functions more like Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. You can download.
Where you can actually download the games, at least some of them, and have them run on the PlayStation instead of having to stream the game, which is fucking rad. Like, it's how the service should have functioned from the get-go.
Correct.
Which is pretty cool. I think that came out end of last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally missed it.
If I remember right, it was around then when they started.
I mean, the Vita's a tragic story, unfortunately. It was a wonderful piece of hardware that didn't get the proper software attention it needed.
It really, it could have been
Vita,
the Switch.
They just needed games. If they just made some goddamn games for it.
But the games that were out on it are fucking great.
That's what
Uncharted was fucking great.
But they didn't make enough.
Gravity Rush was fucking great.
Gravity Rush is so cool.
They made a handful of really great games and then minimized the attraction to the Vita by re-releasing those exact games that were Vita only on the PlayStation 4.
Yep. Well, I think they had to do it because, like, I mean, unfortunately, the market for handhelds, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, it's kind of always been dominated by Nintendo, and
it has
but
at the time, some of us can watch Starship Troopers on a UMD still.
The Vita had more hardware power than the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And that should have been a huge draw. Because that's what I've always desired was
I wanted
console level graphics in a handheld.
The problem why I never got one was there just weren't enough games that appealed to me that came out on it that I couldn't get elsewhere. You know what I mean?
And there are a lot of games that I think you would enjoy. Escape Plan was one of their launch games. It was a lot of fun. I have always been a huge Wipeout fanboy, so Wipeout 2048.
Wipeout's so great.
Wipeout 2048 was
rest
outstanding.
In peace, Dick Dale.
And then, way to bring it down.
Sorry, continue.
And then they even re-released the Wipeout PlayStation 3 tracks on Wipeout 2048. So you could play Fury and HD on Vita. It was fucking awesome. and now you can play them on PlayStation VR, which is even cooler.
Oh man, I got kind of like motion sick.
I got super.
I got
motion
a
sick.
little motion sick. We had to like go into the settings, and so I couldn't.
Oh,
move
yeah,
around
yeah,
as much because I can't. Number one, I can't throw anything in that. So that's already that's
You
already
can
a
throw
negative.
yourself off the track.
Yeah, but that's not as much fun as being able to throw other things off the track.
Or put them in a drawer and make them shake internally until you break the game.
You have like a hula bobble. You have like a hula bobble head on the dash in the first view, and you can grab it and just throw
I
it.
feel like I'm being personally attacked right now. I actually have to replace the hula girl in my car because her skirt finally came off.
Brooks.
She's been in my car for 2 years.
There's internet for that now, Brooks.
You know what else I'm actually kind of excited for?
Death.
Yeah,
Always.
always and forever. Even though I don't care much for playing the story, but the Halo collection coming
Yes.
out on the PC.
It looks pretty.
Yes.
I only want it so I can get a group of friends that I've known for a long time, but I met them after the Halo Forge thing was a craze. Now I can get them together and we can shitpost and Forge and just make stupid maps. I'm titillated at the prospect. It's gonna be great.
I like that you used a $5 word there, Dan. Because you said tits.
Are you impressed?
Yes.
Are you not entertained?
I've never been a big Halo fan.
I'm really not a super big Halo fan either, but
I like the first
I
one a
enjoy the
lot.
multiplayer.
I didn't like the first one even because
I just like the story.
Halo
nerd.
Halo was a huge thing for dude bros everywhere who have never owned a PC. Sure. And that's not me. I was playing Unreal Tournament and
Not me either.
shit like that.
I did not have a
so.
good
But I
enough
could
PC.
smack my friends in the back of the head with an assault rifle, so you better believe I was having fun doing it.
I didn't hang out with that many people, so when I got a Halo,
He played Halo with Christ!
I played Halo. I played a single player, so even he couldn't play.
Did you give him a controller that wasn't plugged in? And you're like, no, it's okay. You walk with me.
And when there was only one controller cable, I was carrying you.
Oh, thank heaven! Oh man!
7-Eleven.
Oh man!
On that note, we have actually reached the end of the podcast.
What? No.
We didn't even talk about that weird Google console thing.
Or the-
Oh, that's right. You mean
Stevia.
Stevia?
Would someone like to rant about it?
I will rave about it if someone wants to rant about it. I think it's rad.
I don't. I know virtually nothing about it, save what my dear friend Brent was talking to me about earlier this week, and it sounds like it's going to be good.
The idea looks cool.
Before we get into all that, this week, as always, we are brought to you by Ripped Apparel and Humble Bundle. Yeah, I got ripped. Ripped Apparel, of course, specializes in nerdy crossover T-shirts and canvases and all kinds of things. So check out Ripped Apparel. Go to toplessrobot.com/ripped. That's toplessrobot.com/RIPT. And of course, Humble Bundle. I'm sure you all know about Humble Bundle. You can get Nintendo Switch games in their store. You can get cheap PC games and Steam keys in their store. All kinds of really awesome stuff. A portion of all sales go to charity. And of course, they have the Humble Monthly Bundle, which is $12. Gives you about 9 games that are worth at least 5 times that $12 that you're spending. So super worth it. You get a lot of very cool games. So go to toplessrobot.com/humble to do some Humble Bundle shopping. Now, oh fuck. Ooh. I'm still getting over being sick. The Stadia, there were 2 concepts that they introduced in showing it off. For anyone who doesn't know, Stadia is it was shown off at GDC this week, and it is Google's game streaming service. It's what they were testing at the end of last year with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
You got the free access, right?
Yeah, you got free access, and you played it in a Chrome browser, and everything was. I got into that beta, and it played like any normal fucking game. It was great.
Yeah, that's exactly what my friend was saying. It was because like when I first heard about it this week, I was talking with him about it. I was like, I don't know, man. Like this is weird because I'm not putting a cartridge in a thing.
This is new and therefore I hate it.
This is my Atari Jaguar.
I said those exact words.
So I think this is going to be a challenge for a lot of people because we like having a sense of ownership. And this is why moving to digital in general has been a challenge for a lot of people, is because we like feeling like we own a thing. The reality is we've never owned anything that we've bought.
Friendly reminder
theft.
that you're only licensing your games from Steam.
Yeah, you're licensing your games when you buy a tangible copy as well.
Sure.
Yes.
But it's a lot harder to take that away.
To play that. It is a lot harder to take
our lives are not our own. Powers that be.
So this is moving into a space that people have been talking about moving into, decentralized, cloud computing, except applying it to games. GameFly tried to do the same thing for a long while and failed. If anyone can,
and I was struck down to the ground.
If anyone has the resources to do it right, it's Google.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
Google owns the world.
There were two things that they touched on as possibilities in this Stadia-driven gaming universe that I am extremely excited by the prospect of. One of which is you can have a pre-roll ad for a game on YouTube, and in that pre-roll ad have a Play Now button. And you click on it, and within 5 minutes, the game is running on your computer.
Yeah.
And even less than 5 minutes, I think they said, because it's just a very fast. They've got super powerful computers, running all this shit, and you don't have to buy the latest NVIDIA video card in order to play it at the highest resolution. You just have to have a decent internet connection.
Which means I cannot use this service
yet.
Well, when you have to pull start your dial-up router modem thing.
No, I got pedals at my desk, and I just sit there and just. I have a gas.
Whoa. Are you starting up a Dreamcast?
I have a gas-powered internet connection.
The other thing that they
please tell me it's at least ethanol.
You got to open up a window, otherwise you're gonna pass out from the fumes.
The other thing that got me super excited, and you can fucking bet that this is going to be a thing that we do with the Topless Robot streams once we start streaming and Stadia becomes a thing, is as a streamer, you will be able to have like a queue of your audience who want to play with you next. And they will not have to install anything. They'll just be in the game playing with you on stream.
Ooh,
that'll be cool.
I think that's fucking rad.
The potential for that.
It's taking shit posting to a whole new level.
Not necessarily, because if you've ever been in a stream chat room, the people are in there like you find very little anti-streamer shit posting in stream chat rooms. Because people are there to support the streamer. So it either gets shut down real quick by people who are there in earnest, or it just isn't there.
And when that earnest is gone, it goes to jail.
I saw it coming.
I did too.
I saw it coming.
So wait, that joke was not one of your leavings?
We all know that Scared Stupid is a superior movie.
Yes, it is, and I'm trying to be more environmentally conscientious.
But I, for one, am extremely excited at the prospect of Stadia.
Could they at least have chosen a different name?
Yeah, it sounds really dumb.
Stadia?
I tweeted out on the Topless Robot Twitter. Can't tell if game streaming platform or sugar substitute.
Right. I mean,
Stadia?
they should have changed it to something like so controversial and like attention grabbing. Like.
You mean like Xbox's version of this exact same thing, xCloud?
Yes.
The xCloud.
They should have called it something really, really awful, like the Google 420 or some dumb shit like that.
Air horn Doritos.
The Google Mountain Dew experience.
Google Fapple.
Now in Gush and Grab.
Now in Gushing Grandpa?
The Clinch Mountain Boys. Playing on Google Play.
No, why? What?
We kept saying the
Hey,
cursed
Google.
words.
Stop. We did keep saying the curse words. I forgot
So from now on, we
that
must
they're
refer
in
to
this
it
room.
as Gogol.
Gogol.
It's always listening.
20.
Google heard us shit talking.
Does anyone else have any rants or raves this week?
Many like hopeful rave. The Lucas Arts Gaming Studio.
That's right.
Yeah.
Disney brought back LucasArts Gaming.
So maybe we can drive that stake into EA's heart over their control over Star Wars games.
Do you guys see that?
Kill them,
that
please.
meme of that.
I'm actually
the
more
new EA
excited
controller with
for
the
Day of the
credit card
Tentacle.
slot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sooner EA dies, the better off we will all be.
Sports, get out of the game.
Yeah. EA, get out of the game.
Please.
Yeah.
All I want is a new good Star Wars game. Like I want it so bad.
Yep.
Like it makes me so mad how bad Star
just
Wars
create
Battlefront
like a redux of X-wing and TIE Fighter from the PC from the 90s, and we will all be satisfied.
I want a new KOTOR. I want a new Knights of the Old Republic. So
that
bad.
lore
That's
is
on
dead.
BioWare.
I know, but
Lore's
I
dead.
want it so bad.
And
gone.
BioWare has really shit the bed recently
They
on a game known as
Yeah.
Yeesh.
I played the beta of Anthem, and it feels nice, but
well. So
Is that also based on the works of Ayn Rand?
Shut up. The thing that I want to say is it's puzzling that Anthem actually has decent gameplay, but absolutely shit the bed on its RPG mechanics and story, which are the two things that BioWare is supposed to be known for.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I actually own a copy of it. I don't want to. A friend bought.
I don't want to.
I don't want this. Take it back.
No, a friend bought one for. He asked me, "Will you play this game with me?" I said, "I don't want to give EA my money, and I don't really want to play it." And then he just dropped me a CD key the next morning. Son of a bitch!
Because he
And
loves you.
I haven't even gotten to play my copy because my computer only has 8 gigs of RAM, which is insufficient to play the game.
Yeah.
Blast.
But again, the problem is, if BioWare is supposed to be known, and true to form, I have played old BioWare games that, yes, have decent story and usually great RPG mechanics. How did they fuck that up?
No idea.
Did they?
Was there like an oversight team? Like there was somebody just influencing their decisions and just shit on BioWare? What happened?
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's my only rant about it. Like, for whatever, it blows up PS4s. That's its own problem too.
Yeah.
PS4s just want to die.
Yeah. I just want to die.
I imagine that, and that's right. It's also happening with Xbox players as well, because both Xbox and Sony have started issuing refunds to players who bought Anthem.
Yeah.
Can we make that the new tagline? Anthem, so bad even your console will stop working.
Anthem, short for
But
anathema.
honestly, though, the gameplay feels great.
That's honestly when they first started showing it before it was coming out, and like just the way I'm addicted to like fun, smooth movement like throughout a game.
Like, that's
the
how
way
an
that you
Iron
go around
Man
looks
game
cool.
should be.
Yeah. But as soon as I started seeing all the other shit, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a shame. It's a real shame. And I imagine that BioWare's good at reacting to community stuff for the most part.
No, they're not.
No?
They've always been bad about
I thought
that.
they had a history of being pretty responsive.
As far as I know,
You're confusing them with a good company.
BioWare has historically been a pretty good company.
they
until very
have
recently.
legions of fans who apologize for the mistakes they make and attack anybody who makes
Oh boy.
any complaints about
Because that's
any
constructive.
BioWare game. Yeah. There's a lot of BioWare fanboys out there, and I think for that reason specifically, a lot of choices that they make are pretty shitty because BioWare's fan base is pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Shitty.
I'm sorry, BioWare's outspoken fan base is pretty shitty.
Yeah. That's a shame. Any other answer raves?
No.
Very, very brief rave. I haven't played The Division 2, but I've only heard that it has a great release. and I want to give them credit for making a game that's actually good on release instead of requiring a bunch of DLC to make it functional. Good on you guys.
I've heard good things as well.
Following the Nintendo model.
What, give them a whole game?
Really?
No, preposterous!
Release a game when it's finished? What?
No. We sell game discs by the slice.
Well, who does all the Tom Clancy games?
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Ubisoft. That's right. No, it is Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
It is Ubisoft because it's meant to stand for
UB
ubiquitous.
I'm okay with being a Philistine.
You probably say GIF, don't you?
No, I don't.
So I guess we'll end this podcast on BioWare. Figure it out.
Please.
Ubisoft, good on you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Luke, it says I'm locked out of my account again.
Hey everybody! Once again, I started talking at length about Hamilton, so Dan decided he was going to put me in the shame box. If you want to see all of our fun talks about musicals and everything like that, probably don't watch. But, still subscribe.
This is what you get when you sing.